Rhode Island law generally punishes drug offenses in two different ways. There can be punishment for people who possess drugs. There can also be criminal prosecution, and this is much more serious for people who possess drugs with the intent to sell them, or people who are literally selling them in a so-called hand-to-hand delivery. But most commonly, the police look for offenses where they can arrest someone with a substantial quantity of drugs and infer from that quantity that people are intending to sell them to others. Recently, some of our laws have been amended very favorably for those who face charges of drug possession. They've been amended so that some of them are punishable as misdemeanors, not as felonies. And that's a very important benefit for people who typically are folks who have a substance abuse problem and are not necessarily drug traffickers or large-scale drug traffickers, but they're people who are simply, trying to feed a habit. By far, the most serious offenses are possession with intent to deliver or manufacture and delivery. Those kinds of charges are punished in state court as well as in federal court. Some of the charges in federal court carry mandatory minimum penalties of, say, 5 years, 10 years. That can be really serious. But even a state court charge that involves the possession of narcotics or controlled substances with the intent to distribute, that's punishable by up to 30 years in prison under Rhode Island law. That doesn't mean most offenders go to prison for that length of time, but that is a maximum penalty. What are some of the strategies that you can use to defend against drug cases? One thing that's commonly done is to make sure that you test the substance and require the state of Rhode Island to prove that the substance actually is banned or controlled. Many of the other defenses that you might have really depend upon the circumstances. If there is a witness against you who is an informant, many times it's possible to identify who that informant is and what benefit the informant might be getting or the cooperator might be getting from the authorities in order to provide information. But that's a really fact-specific inquiry, and it's important that you talk frankly and honestly with a defense attorney in order to find out what your best defense strategy might be.